The next part of the webinar will be the presentation of the DEI Capacity Assessment Tool. We'll start by understanding what's the purpose of the tool before providing more details on how you can access it. So this assessment tool is designed to support municipalities in evaluating their progress towards institutional DEI mainstreaming. This tool, this assessment, builds upon the original model, which was developed through the EU-funded CASPER project, which focused on universities' gender equality mainstreaming capacity. And DiGiN partners, particularly Yellow Window, adapted the model for municipalities as part of the DiGiN project. This means that the tool you will see today is a direct output of DiGiN, tailored specifically to meet the needs of municipal environments. Now, why is this tool important? We know that achieving effective institutional change in DI requires meeting several essential preconditions. The DEI Capacity Assessment Tool helps to evaluate whether these preconditions, referred to as impact drivers, are present and functioning. So by identifying strengths and areas for improvement, the tool helps municipalities assess their capacity to mainstream DEI effectively. It's available through an online platform and delivers on-the-spot results, as you see from the screenshots on the slide. We'll explore this in more detail shortly. So the primary goal of the tool, perfect, and the primary goal of the tool is to assess a municipality's institutional progress and the extent to which DEI has been embedded into the daily operations. And as I said before, the tool evaluates a set of 9 impact drivers, which are essential for successful DEI mainstreaming. So by doing so, the assessment identifies both strengths and areas needing improvement. It focuses on processes rather than outcomes. So it builds a sense of, it builds self-assessment capabilities and acts both as a self-evaluation framework, but also as an awareness-raising instrument to guide DEI mainstreaming, to guide the next step for capacity building, etc. The tool now, as we'll show shortly, is available online and of course free of charge. Users are prompted to answer a series of questions designed to evaluate their organization's DEI capacities. And upon completion, the tool, as I said, generates this detailed report with some insights and feedback, which is tailored to the municipality's context based on the questions, based on the answers provided. The feedback that is provided upon completion, it gives some recommendations and recommended actions on how the particular municipality can improve their DEI mainstreaming. The impact drivers that I mentioned before are total in 9, and each of them has a set of indicators. And as you see from the screen, the users evaluate each indicator on a scale from 0, which is non-existent, to 5, fully embedded, with the option to provide additional details or justifications for each of these questions. The assessment can, of course, be paused and resumed at any time, ensuring flexibility by, you can do that by clicking on the right corner button. Let's look into more details now for the model, in the model. The model was built to reflect municipalities' structures and to apply a DEI mainstreaming perspective. This model, the adapted model, comprises 9 impact drivers, and users assess the indicators of each impact driver on a scale from 0 to 5. Then we have an average score that is calculated to determine the stage of DEI institutionalization. As you see on the picture on the right, there are 6 different stages. The recommendations and the feedback that is generated upon completion aims to support municipalities to make progress and move to the next stage. Let's now look into the impact drivers in more detail. The first impact driver refers to access to DEI expertise and knowledge integration. It focuses on ensuring diverse sources of DEI knowledge being available at the municipality and resources of and expertise being integrated systematically into the planning and to the evaluation processes. The second impact driver refers to DEI instruments and resources to ensure the availability of funding, to ensure that we have established DEI roles within the municipality's own organization. We have data collection and analysis, and we provide training and capacity building activities to support the institutionalized DEI efforts. Then we have stakeholder involvement and community participation, which refers to the inclusion of a diverse set of experts and stakeholders in the municipal bodies, in the implementation processes, but also to events to foster a community-driven DEI initiatives. Then we have the coverage of the policy cycle, which highlights the importance of integrate DEI principles at every stage of policy design, implementation, and evaluation. Here, we're referring to internal policy processes, such as the recruitment and appraisal, as we heard before from the Rotterdam team, communication or work organization, rather than any municipal policy making which is directed to the citizenry. The next impact driver refers to the structured understanding of systemic inequalities, which ensures that we recognize these diverse inequalities and the dynamic interactions which lead to specific and unique experiences of discrimination or inequality. Thus, we promote a more intersectional approach supported by data analysis and actionable goals. And of course, leadership's commitment, as we heard before, is highly important. So leadership actively committed to DEI includes mayors or vice mayors, directors of services, other senior managers or representatives to internally, but also externally communicate their DEI commitment and back this up with measurable actions. Then we have transparency and accountability, which refers to practices that ensure that through public evaluation reports, through monitoring of DEI performance practices, we hold entities accountable for the non-fulfillment of goals. Then we have the inclusive daily practices. The last two impact drivers are highly correlated and connected. The inclusive daily practices ensure that the municipality's operational routines, communications, service provision are adapted to align with DEI principles, they foster inclusivity throughout the organization, and inclusivity organizational culture ensures that the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion are core values of the municipality, which engages to continuous learning about DEI. It promotes self-reflection, and most importantly, it maintains institutional memory. So for each of the impact driver, there are 2 to 8 indicators, which results in a total of 39 indicators. And these are the ones that are assessed, as we said before, from 0 to 5. For example, you see on your screen now the first impact driver, which refers to access to DEI expertise and knowledge integration. And for this particular impact driver, there are 5 specific indicators which refer to the availability and use of diverse set of knowledge sources, availability of resource directory featuring experts and materials, to engagement with external knowledge and know-how provided and experts. All these indicators, all these five indicators are evaluated to assess the first impact driver. So that's an overall idea of what this assessment is about. Before we conclude the presentation for this assessment, there are some key points that are important to consider. These are some commonly asked questions that are also part of the frequent asked questions section on the assessment website that we'll provide shortly. The first, of course, very common question that we encounter is who should fill this assessment? We recommend that one core team member completes the assessment, a member that is working actively on the topics of diversity, equity, and inclusion. But it's very important to highlight that involving key stakeholders ensures a more comprehensive evaluation. As you can imagine, answering these questions, it requires to have a great understanding of the organization. So involving key stakeholders that have a great understanding on the history of the municipality, on operations, is very important. Thus, we recommend you to organize a dedicated session, either online or in person, to review the impact drivers and their respective indicators. we recommend that throughout this discussion, you keep track of and justify your assessment. It might be referring to policies, it might be keeping notes on why you have chosen the particular score. It's very important to keep track of the justification, and the assessment also allows you to do that. And as we said, you can save your progress anytime, so you can fill later if needed. The assessment now, moving to the second question, usually takes 2.5 to 3 hours to complete, ideally with a small group of key change agents, as we said, who have a strong and great understanding of the institution. Most importantly, we recommend you and we encourage you to repeat the assessment every 12 to 18 months, because this allows you to track your progress over time, and it provides and continuous insights for driving change. You can access the tool either through the DiGiN website, following the first link that you see now, diginproject.eu, and from the menu, you can choose resources, and the second option is the DiGiN assessment tool, or you can scan the QR code you see. Both lead to the same page.